everyone, welcome or welcome back. My name is Cassidy or Starr, and I'm a light renegade, part of a collective of Pleiadian beings bringing you information from the veil beyond. Welcome if this is your first time. This is our 6th message from the Anunnaki. A new representative yesterday came through, and her name was Resluki, and I was picturing a beautiful black being, and her skin was just gorgeous, and she was draped head to toe in golden armor, and I just thought, wow, it really took my breath away. And yeah, it just felt really regal. And I know that this is going to be something that splits the crowd. I know that a lot of you have experienced a lot of negative Anunnaki interactions, and it's difficult bringing these through because I know there's a lot of great information here for you, but I also know that it means that you are having to work through some layers of deep forgiveness and compassion for self and for the Anunnaki. So please go easy with self with these messages again, but I felt like this was the perfect message to come through right now. I've been feeling a lot of different things from the collective energy, and I thought this was the main strand that I've been picking up from different people at the moment, and it really put things into perspective of where some of us find ourselves now. And yeah, it just really aligned, and I was really grateful to receive it. So as Luki started with, hello dear light workers and beings of deep insight and knowing. I'm here today with a message for you all of truth. The truth of who you are. Do you know who you are? Are these questions you have asked yourself before? Or is this your first time getting to know yourself now you are seeing the light? The light is shifting where you are on planet Earth, so you are expanding, you are growing, you are shedding layers and parts of self that no longer serve your highest good. This does mean, however, that you are a new you, but a you that you do know deep down. This idea of soul seems elusive to some of you right now. We see you struggle with exactly what that means. Think of it as this. Your soul isn't the part that you have been taught this lifetime. It isn't something you can obtain from a book or watching TV, although aspects can be uncovered by doing so. This is a tactic many of us beings use to help you gain more knowledge of self, your past lives, and deeper understandings. But your soul, that is something that is deep within, but not so deep that you cannot find it. We see some of you searching as though it is out of reach, when all you need to do is sink into your soul. It is there for you always. It is the deep light within. It is the deep knowing and voice that you feel, not hear. Remember that. What you feel is often just as important as what you see. There is so much to uncover, yet at the same time it is so simple. Don't try, just allow. Allow for all to be given to you and have patience. This is the toughest part of this journey, and you find yourselves, this is the toughest part of this journey you find yourselves in right now, we think. The lack of patience has many of you in a bind, but I'm here with some frustrating news. All happens exactly when it is right, when it is most beneficial to you and your personal journey. This idea of comparison and anyone being better or more worthy over other must stop. You are the keepers and makers of your own divine life and light. Remember this. There is no room for comparison, healthy urgings to obtain skills that others might have, of course. We are not all born with the exact same gifts at the exact same time, and we experience everything so individually. It seems idiotic to us that you keep coming back to compare self with other. Anunnaki really do not mince words. It makes me laugh quite a lot. Please stop. For the sake of your own growth, stop now. This is only halting your progression and the progress you have already made. Be inspired by others, but do not compare. No one is perfect or above anyone else. Of course, we will always say align with those in light and of light, but allow for forgiveness and change in those you deem to be living in the dark also. We are all on our own journeys, and we are all growing at our own divine right time and pace as individuals. To those that are teachers, healers, and facilitators, remain humble. It is easy at this time to want to overpower other, not in the most obvious way, but to try and tell someone how to be. We can never fully understand someone else's path or previous lives up to where we see them now, but hold space for them to blossom and bloom at their own speed, despite what you may feel is the best or right way or right time. So much is shifting. Remember, you can be a new you every day if you so choose to. This may help some of you stay focused and balanced at this time. Take each day as it comes, and with a new set of eyes, ears, and breath. The moment you wake up, tune in. What's affecting you? How can you help self today? What do you need? What is hurting or plaguing your mind, body, and spirit? Keep coming back to the most simple question. How do I feel right now? What is my mind telling me? Are they aligned? Keep standing strong, light army. We are by your side. Razluki. It just felt perfect. I felt like I've been in a few discussions over the past week or so with a lot of different types of people, and the main theme was the same. It's this idea of, what am I now? How am I growing? What's going to happen? And for those that do hold space, how can I hold space in a way that is in alignment with everything shifting so much? And I think that all of us find ourselves in very different spaces in our life, and this came through today as a full confirmation, but I've suspected for a while that I've been traveling through different timelines, and it was only today did it come in as full confirmation that's exactly what I've been doing. So it's like I'm not just here, I'm also in other spaces too. So some days I will do something that doesn't make sense to where I specifically might see and find myself, but it is making sense in another timeline. I've been doing this my entire life, so everything has just felt very disjointed a lot, and I wanted to share that just in case some of you find yourselves in that space too. And it's easy to get lost in the source, I like to say, and I really do have to ground in with myself and just check how am I feeling, especially when I'm doing a lot of purging. And it's been the eclipse week and there's been some great energies coming through, but I know a lot of you have been in shadow work too, and it's been a minefield trying to remind myself of how to come back after doing deep purging and work, because we're expanding so much. It is like we're a different person. I sometimes feel like every half an hour my mood changes so much, and things get brought to me that I have to work through, and I'm purging energy not just for myself but for the collective a lot of the time too. So remind yourself of that. If things feel out of alignment and you're not sure why, it's because you are doing work for others, and the only way to get through that is to keep just grounding self in and feeling into what you do need at that moment in time. And sometimes it might be things that are really obscure. I find myself being drawn to different types of food, or specific things to do in that moment that perhaps doesn't call for it. I might be dealing with some really chaotic energy, and then all I want to do is listen to the loudest piece of music that I can find. It's like whatever soothes you, and don't be it's like don't judge self in that. Obviously make sure you're not doing anything to harm self and others, but allow for whatever feels right for you at that time, and trust yourself, I think, is where a lot of you find yourselves right now. And me also, kind of guys took their hands off the wheel at a time when I really felt like I needed them, and I didn't understand it until I've kind of grown into it a little bit more. And it was to really push me to stand on my own 2 feet. And I've had confirmation of, we're really busy, we're here for you, but we're busy, but also you've got this. And if you need something, call on us, but we're not there for you every second of the day anymore. So maybe that's where some of you find yourselves too. If you might not necessarily know who your guides are, you might not necessarily hear them, but maybe you've felt their energy for a really long time, and maybe they've taken a step back to help you, toughen up and stand in your own light a little bit more. So if you're feeling a disconnect, either that's you expanding, sometimes that happens as a disconnect to help us expand a little bit deeper, but also sometimes they take a step back just to allow us to be fully our own light. And trust yourself in that. Trust that you know what you're doing, and you might not be learned in some way or feel like you've read a lot of books and some things, and I caught myself in that trap too. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it's like, no, I do. I've lived many, many, many lives, and all of that information is locked inside of us, and we just have to get still enough to receive it. So don't force, but allow and surrender. Surrender so much that it hurts, and then surrender some more is the only advice that I can give to some of you right now. If you're really struggling, it's take your hands off the wheel, because sometimes we're not in charge, and it is us that's in charge, but it's our soul, and that's not how we are led or taught to lead in this lifetime. So make sure that you are allowing yourself to give yourself the room for your soul to shine through, and take a step back, allow your mind to ease, and just really sit with self. If everything feels like it's a shambles and in disarray, just sit and allow for divine energy just to come to you, and it will. And this idea of patience, I've gritted my teeth through the past few years, and nothing comes when you think it's going to, and everything happens just at the point you're giving up, and it really does work that way. So yeah, hands off the wheel, everyone, and just try and surrender, is what I want to say. But if it feels right to you, call in the Anunnaki light in, because they've really helped me feel really strong and stand on my own 2 feet, and to really stand up for myself and my spaces in the world and my place in this world, and really help me find courage to continue to move forward and allow my soul to expand. Sometimes it feels very uncomfortable to let your soul lead. If I would consider myself to have been quite a shy and insular person for a lot of my life. I was very much an observer rather than a person that liked to be in the spotlight. So doing all of this felt very, very foreign to me, and I thought, why would I choose this? Why did my soul choose this? This is not something that I would have chosen. But as soon as I started to surrender, I started to feel a different me coming forward, and I'm completely new, and I think that shocked a lot of people in my close circles, and be prepared for that too. And if you're receiving backlash from that, allow people to grow, allow people to be living out their own karma in their own time and their own shadows, and that's difficult too. I've experienced that, and I hold my hands up that I haven't handled things in the best way with some people in my life, and that includes family members. I think you find yourself really frustrated sometimes with some people in some spaces, and I really had to learn to take a step back and just let people grow and hold space for them, even if they're coming up against me. That's difficult too, and trying to learn to manage that is difficult. But just take time yourself and keep asking for help. It's like that help is there, and even if guides have taken a step back, if something's really difficult, call them in. They're like, we're here, call on us, ask for help. And I always turn to the angels for that. I'm like, angels, help me with this, I'm really struggling with this. And it comes, the help comes, maybe not in the way you're expecting, but it does always come. So just keep having compassion for self and forgiveness for everyone, and yourself too. Sometimes we act out in ways that we're not proud of, and that's okay. We have to have forgiveness for self whilst we're growing too, because it's challenging, and sometimes a lot of dark, deep emotions have been stored for a really long time. So forgive yourself too, and allow yourself that compassion. But that's it from me today, everyone. I'll be back again soon. Take care.